All right. Um, Welcome back. Again, thank you all for tuning into these. And I always forget to say this, but somebody told me that if you do enjoy watching these, and please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We try to put at least clips of this on all of our social media. But I'm Billy Dooley with Coach Dooley's List, and I want to say thank you to Coach Miller. I called Coach Miller 30 minutes ago. I was down here in the area, and he did not know I was coming, and he agreed to be on with us today. So, Coach, I do appreciate it,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I always start by asking coaches, what's your coaching journey been like, and what led you down to Brewton-Parker to be the first flag football coach for your inaugural season next year?
Yeah. So my coaching career had a kind of a unique start. So my oldest son was entering high school. We moved him to Robert Toombs Christian Academy, a private school here in Toombs County. And so at that first year at camp, the head coach asked me to help out a little bit. And so went through camp and started after camp was over, he sat down and said, "Hey, look, do you want to help me coach?" Grew up playing football and different sports in high school. But so I started helping that year, coach defensive line for him. Stayed there for 7-8 years, coaching defensive line, moved to special teams, was the recruiting coordinator, helping trying to find our football players homes. So that's kind of where my journey began. Fast forward a little bit, he leaves Robert Toombs, takes the job at Wheeler County High School, asked me to move with him there. So went to Wheeler County, coached with him there. My middle son played football for him at Wheeler County, and he graduated and went off to play football at Georgia Southern. And he moved over to Dodge County, went to Dodge County with him, moved over there with him as well. So kind of my coaching background, with him through the years is I've coached, I've been special teams coordinator, recruiting coordinator at all three schools, assistant defensive coordinator. And so that's kind of my coaching background. After he left Dodge County, I had my two sons. One just graduated college, one's in college. My daughter is graduating high school this year, so I decided I was going to step back from coaching to be able to spend time with the family and go to my son's games, and then God pointed me in a different direction and led me to where I am today, which is it's been a blessing so far.
Well, and this, it's hard to keep good coaches away, or it's hard to let them stay away. So,
right.
And like you said, God's always got a plan. And, I love this place. I know we talked a couple months ago, and as you're building it, in here, you got your draft board up and your potential recruits. And I know you said you got 26 girls coming in.
That's right.
So as you're building this, and I know these are things coaches think about, when somebody plays your teams in the future, or if you have anybody who's got a daughter that comes and plays for you for 4 years, what do you want your program to be known for? Somebody leaves playing the Lady Barons, what do you want them to remember?
Well, the pillar, the pillar, or my acronym for our program is GLUE. So God being first, loyalty to our program and our institution. We're going to be unified, so we're going to have team unity, and we're going to give effort. So,
I love that.
That's what I built it on. Actually, before I even took this job here, I was praying about it, and I said, God, if this is meant to be for me to be here, kind of lay out what you see for me, and He did instantly. I mean, 10 minutes after talking to Coach Dooley, Chris Dooley here, the vice president. Yeah. Yeah, the vice president of athletics here. After talking with him, I was praying about it on the way back to my public job, and he just laid it all out and showed me the pathway immediately. And so moving forward, I think if we build the program on that foundation, what other teams can expect from us is they're gonna be able to expect us to come out and compete to the best of our abilities, and we're going to give max effort every play, and we're going to be respectful, and we're going to be a team that's led by God, and therefore you're going to see that on the field from us 100%.
No, I love it. And I've got real big my last couple of years coaching in high school on mission statements and the glue stuff. You always talk about your glue guys or your glue girls in a program. So right. I absolutely love that. Yeah. But also it comes from somewhere. So, I mean, that's over years of coaching that is put together. And so, it kind of leads into my next question. In all your years of coaching, I always ask coaches, what's your favorite coaching story? It could be something on the field, off the field, good success story. What you got?
Well, with me, with the unique situation that I've been in and been able to help a lot of kids get to play at the next level, not necessarily at a D1 level, but any opportunity that God blesses a athlete to have a school be able to pay for some portion of their education with their athletic ability. I've had, I get phone calls regularly from past athletes, talking about, just telling me thank you, thank you for the effort. So there's not one specific, thing that just comes to mind. It's just being able to build relationships with the kids, their parents, and help guide them.
Right.
So I don't, like I said, it's not a specific thing. It's just the entire body of work, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I hear from all the time relationships. That's the word that comes up a lot with coaches. So
absolutely,
in jumping into this head coaching role, whether it be head coaching at a college, university, or even in a high school, what's a piece of advice you would give to somebody who thinks they want to become a head coach? What do they need to know?
So, with me, it's a mentor. Mm-hmm. You've got to have good mentors.
Right.
I was blessed to coach my entire high school career with the same head coach.
That's awesome.
That's unheard of. He's a tremendous man of God. He taught me a lot about not only the game of football, but what it looks like to interact with kids and parents coming out of different situations. And so I've had probably the thing that I would say the most is, if you're a young and a young aspiring coach, find a mentor, find good mentors. And God has blessed me here to be surrounded by Steve Edwards, girls basketball coach, tremendous man of God, tremendous basketball coach, Madison Heron, tremendous human being, tremendous softball coach. And that, I think that's something that you can't stop learning.
Right.
You've always got to learn, and you've always got to strive to get better and perfect your craft. Yeah, for sure.
No, I agree. Yeah, so having a mentor is something, and I think a lot of schools have that for new teachers, but not necessarily always for new coaches. So just finding one is good. So, and then the big idea behind Coaching Dooley's List is my goal is to help coaches out as much as possible. And one of the big things is connecting coaches with good vendors, reputable ones that people love, and they're going to get the job done. It's going to be on time. So in all your years, could be here at Brewton-Parker, anywhere else, is there any not mentors, but any vendors that you've loved to work with, you'd love to shout out?
So probably 90% of our stuff comes from BSN. Mm-hmm. Steve Allen. I've known Steve for years and years and years. Luckily, I get to work with him here as well.
Awesome.
Because he handles all of our stuff. Another one, a smaller vendor is Shrooms. So they do a lot of custom flag work.
Awesome.
Different things like that. So I've been working with them to develop our flags, our custom flags for this year. So those are probably the two: BSN Sports and Shrooms. I think it's just shrooms.com. And they do custom flags, some headbands, halo headbands, different things like that. So yeah.
No, that's actually one I've got to get added to the site. I'm doing the site right now, and Shrooms being on the flag football group me with all the coaches in Georgia. They have said that, so I've got to get them added next week when it comes out. So, well, listen, Coach, I do appreciate your time.
Yes.
Anybody watching, flag football, if you have not paid attention, it is growing like wildfire. And and in college too, and I hope to continue to see that. And Coach, I wish y'all nothing but the best this year.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you coming in.